Hi guys, it's Sarah Todd. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about some things that you should not say to disabled people. I've had these things said to me on numerous occasions, and I just can't stand when people say these things to me. So let's go ahead, dive in, and dissect what exactly is wrong with all of these upcoming phrases I'm going to be sharing with you. The first thing that I often have people say to me is my personal favorite: "You're so lucky." People say this to me when they notice that I am receiving an accommodation that makes my life less difficult. And instead of seeing this accommodation as something that I need because of my disability, they see it as a benefit I'm receiving just because I'm disabled and something to be jealous of because I apparently don't actually need it. People will say this about the most silly things. Like when I was in 5th grade at school, my class was sitting in a circle on the floor, and sitting on the floor hurts my back, so I was allowed to sit in a chair instead. And one girl told me I was so lucky because I didn't have to sit on the floor. So let's just think about that for a minute. I was better off having to deal with arm paralysis and lose my independence and sit in a chair than sit on the floor. That makes sense. Now, I know the girl who said this to me was only like 11 years old and she just didn't know any better. But I have had some people who are not little children say that I'm lucky. For example, when I was telling one of my peers at school about the accommodations I'll be having in college, I told her that one of my accommodations was I would have a dorm room with a bathroom in the room. Instead of recognizing that this was an accommodation that I need because I have a disability, my peer told me I was so lucky that I was going to have a bathroom in my room. Yes, because losing my independence is a fair sacrifice to have a bathroom in my room. Okay. And I've also had people say this to me regarding my Make-A-Wish trip. I met One Direction for my Make-A-Wish. It was one of the best things ever, but a lot of the time people will tell me I'm so lucky that I got to meet One Direction, even when they know I met them for my Make-A-Wish. I don't consider myself lucky that I got to meet One Direction because it was my Make-A-Wish. I got to meet them because I have a disability. The lucky ones who meet One Direction are the ones who just happen to come across them on the street while they're walking to a shop or something. The people who meet One Direction through Make-A-Wish are not the lucky ones. The next one that just frustrates me to no end is when I'm asking someone to help me open a food item and they either say, "Only if I can have one," or "Can I have one?" Now, this is not about me being unwilling to share a measly little chip or something. It's more so about the concept. If someone refuses to open a food item for me unless I give them some of that food in exchange, they're taking advantage of my disability, and that's not right. I shouldn't be forced to share my food without me wanting to just because I can't open my food by myself. I don't mind sharing my food at all. If I ask you to open something and you do so and I say thank you, I often offer people some of my food as part of that thank you because they made the effort to help me, and I recognize that and I'm very thankful for it. But me giving away some of my food shouldn't be required in order to have it opened for me. That's just not fair, and that's definitely taking advantage of my disability. This sadly happened a lot to me in middle school and high school, and usually I would just say, yeah, sure, but looking back on it, I wish I had said, "I'll ask someone else," because it was just rude and not cool. This next one I see a lot in the comments on my social media accounts, and I know the people mean well, but I just have a lot of problems with this one. "I'll pray for you," or "I'm praying for you." I don't have a problem with religion at all, and actually I am a Christian myself, but I don't like that people assume that I want to be healed. Of course, I would rather have my health back because my disability has taken away a lot of my independence, but My disability has also offered me a unique perspective on life and helped me to appreciate the beauty of understanding others and having empathy for others. And I'm so thankful for the perspective that having a disability has given me, along with all of the things I've accomplished because I have a disability. So I really don't want random people praying for me, because at this point, I've been disabled for 10 years. I'm fine having a disability. I know that I most likely won't recover just because it's been 10 years and my lower motor neurons are damaged. If you want to know more about the technical side of my disability, I will link a video about that up at the top for you guys. But I've just accepted that I have a disability and I'm going to have it for the rest of my life, most likely. So I don't want people praying for me. This also just feeds into the mentality that people with disabilities can't be happy because we have a disability. And that's not true at all. I think I am proof that that is not true at all. I have a disability and I love my life. So I just really don't like the whole I'll pray for you thing for those reasons. This is another one that I also see a lot on my social media accounts, in the comments, or on videos I've done where I share my story and talk about my life with a disability. And this one just really bothers me. I feel bad for you, or that's so sad. I don't need you to feel bad for me. When I am sharing my story and putting myself out there, it's not because I want sympathy or pity. I do this so that you can see that people with disabilities like myself can live happy, productive lives. That's the message that I want you to take away from the content that I share. So whenever people comment this, I'm always astounded by it, because I don't see how that could be the only emotion they took away from the content that I shared. I want people to finish watching my videos feeling happy and positive, knowing that people with disabilities can live great lives. And leaving my videos feeling bad for me or sad is not enabling me to accomplish my goal at all. And I don't know why that would be the only thing someone would take away from my videos, because I'm not trying to send a message that people should feel bad for people with disabilities. That's not the message I'm trying to send at all. Another issue I have with this comment is it also feeds into the mentality that people with disabilities can't be happy, which is similar to why the previous comment bothers me. Because, like I said, that's just not true. I'm living proof that that's not true. Okay, this next one more so just pertains to me personally, or people who have disabilities similar to mine, but I don't like it when people say, your arms are so skinny, or point out how skinny my arms are, because obviously I know that, and it's because of my disability. I have hardly any arm muscle, so I have severe muscle atrophy in my arms, which makes them look skinnier. Sometimes people point this out so unnecessarily, and it's just like, do they think I don't know that? It's just never appropriate to comment on people's bodies that way. It's just unnecessary, especially since my arms are skinny because of my disability, and it's pretty rude. So I get this next one a lot on my TikTok for some reason. Why do you always talk about your disability? Or all you talk about is your disability. Okay, for one thing, I don't know why that matters, but also I live with my disability 24/7. I can't ever just turn off the fact that I have a disability. I'm not thinking about it 24/7 because that would be pretty unhealthy. Honestly, I don't even directly think about all that comes with my disability all that often. Like, I hardly ever think about the fact that I can't move my left hand, or that I can't put my hair up by myself, or anything like that. But that's not to say that I ignore my disability. I definitely don't ignore my disability. I am passionate about raising awareness for disability in general, so I use my social media platforms to do a lot of that. And on my TikTok, a lot of what I post has to do with disability. And for some reason, people think that that's a bad thing. Me posting about my disability, or just posting disability-related content, is the same as someone who is passionate about One Direction, only posting about One Direction. It's no different. We all have things that we're passionate about and want to talk about because they matter to us, and me using my social media channels to talk about my disability shouldn't be a bad thing. To me, this comment just seems like it feeds into the mentality that disability is something we should hide and be ashamed of because it's not something we should be proud of, and that's wrong. I, as a disabled person, should feel free to post disability-related content if I want to, just like someone who is a One Direction fan should feel free to post about One Direction all the time. And finally, the last one that irks me to no end. The super stereotypical, most common thing you will hear people say to people with disabilities. You're such an inspiration. You're so inspirational. Okay, let's dissect this one a bit. I think it's fine to say that I'm inspirational because you admire me for writing books at such a young age about my disability, or for choreographing dances to make the dance moves suitable for my body since I can't do all of the arm movements, because those are things that are out of the ordinary that not a lot of people do, and that could inspire other people to do the same or something similar. However, it's different when you call me an inspiration just for being a positive person. It shouldn't be inspirational to be a person with a disability who is also happy. That once again feeds into the mentality that people with disabilities can't live positive, productive, fulfilled lives. It shouldn't be inspirational that people with disabilities are happy. It should be the norm. It should be expected, and it should be accepted. If you find it inspirational when a person with a disability is happy, then you are indirectly saying that you don't expect disabled people to be happy, and you expect them to be miserable because their disability should make them feel miserable, because there's no way they could still be positive and happy while having a disability. And that is a very ableist attitude that most people don't realize. I know people who say this come from a good place and they mean well, but the outcome of their comment is not a good one. So yeah, there you have it. The top 7 most frustrating comments I receive as a person with a disability. I am sure if you have a disability, you have received some of these exact same comments, if not all of them, or comments similar to these. And if you have, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I would love to hear your experience with how you have dealt with receiving some of these comments and what your feelings about them are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video of mine. I post new videos every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern and sometimes Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you at the next one. Bye!